Hey there, Ole'Pops here. I was packing me a pipe. I was fixing to smoke me one. You caught me just in time. I was having me some coffee. Just fixing to sit down here and make a video and talk to y'all a bit and have me a pipe. I was watching the neighbors out there trying to mow his yard yesterday. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you can see it, but smoking my Ghibli. Got the wrong light in here. I'm smoking some Sir Walter Raleigh. I like that tin. I picked that tin up at an antique store not too long ago. And I had another old tin that was full. It was a new tin, and it had that ugly old label on it, warning label. So I just swapped them, stuck it in a gallon razor bag, and then stuck it in that tin. Get rid of that old warning label. Anyway, watching a neighbor mow his yard. I mowed mine yesterday, and most embarrassed him because he's out there trying to mow his today. Well, anyway, I had his son out there trying to mow it. And it was as entertaining as it could be. They was out of school today, Labor Day. The little boys are slow, what you call slow, what we used to call back before political correctness was a thing, and back before social politeness was a thing, back before it was cool to be politically correct, I reckon. I reckon that's a term for it. We used to call it mentally retarded. I think today they call it challenged. I think that's the word for it. But anyway, he's got him an old Toro behind bag behind collector, grass collector, push mower. It's an old thing. He had his son. Of course, he's big enough. Every bit big enough. He's polite enough. He seems polite. He waves at me every time he sees me and tries to be polite. He's a good kid, I reckon. But he's a bit on the lazy side, too. Every time you see him, he's all hunkered over and he's got his hands cupped up in front of him, like he's reading a book, but he's never reading a book. He's just got his hands all cupped up in front of him. And looks to be about 12 or 13. He's every bit big enough to. He's large, 12 or 13, but he's every bit big enough to mow that yard. But I'll give him this: that grass, with all the rain we've been had, That grass is up about mid-shin to a man, maybe 10, 12 inches, maybe a foot high. But anyway, he had that boy out there trying to mow that yard. I got 2 kids. I got that boy, and then I got the cutest little girl. She's maybe 6 or 8 years old. She and her mama. I guess it's her first attempt at growing a garden. They got them a little, I don't know, maybe 6 by 8. Looked like a sandbox they built out there inside of the house. And they've planted them a few plants. They planted them a couple cherry tomato and a squash plant and some kind of melon plant that they produced a couple of melons, and of course they were sitting straight on the ground. Of course, most people know that. I started to say everybody, but everybody don't know. But you don't leave them sitting on the ground because they'll rot sitting straight on the ground, and that's what's happened to them. They produced a couple little melons and they rotted sitting on the ground. So I told the lady, I said, they produced a couple nice little melons, but next time they do, I said, it ain't too late in the year. They may try one more time. I said, stick some newspaper underneath them. Anyway, that little boy, he made a couple rounds with that mower. He had to crank it 4 or 5 times while I was out there mowing yesterday. He got maybe, like I said, 2 rounds. He left that sucker sitting out all night long. I noticed today, she was out there this morning. I mean, just a yowling like a mad cat at her husband. And then he was out there with the boy, barking like a dog, trying to get that kid to... That kid made about a half a round with that mower, starting it 4 or 5 times. Finally, that boy turned around. He walked back inside. Here she comes. Lit into that man. Me and Gracie, we took off, got in a Jeep and left. We gone about an hour. Come back. That yard was darn near done. Old Dad was out there sweating it. He was mowing that yard himself. That's a mama's boy. Anyway, I told Gracie while we was out, we stopped at Kroger's. I bought a watermelon about that big that had a little dry stem on it. I thumped 8 or 10 watermelons till I found a good hollow one. They smelled real good. I thought they were smelling good, but it was one of them little mini melons. And they had a tray out there with the dome top where you could try them. And I tried a piece of them, and it was just as sweet as it could be. So I thumped 8 or 10 of them until I found a good hollow sounding one. Well, I bought us one too. They wasn't but $3.99. So I bought 2 of them. And we cut one of them a while ago, and I ate a piece of it. And I'd saved the one that had the stem attached to it. And I'm going to wait until they're asleep or wait until they all go inside tonight. I got me a tube of Gorilla Glue over there. I'm going to go out there and glue that dried stem onto one of the dried stems on their plant. Point it out to that little girl tomorrow when I see her. When she gets back from school. See what she says. I got a couple of homegrown tomatoes in there too. They got a cherry tomato bush over there. I almost set a big old homegrown tomato. It got some over as big as my hand. I almost set a homegrown tomato off in that bush. See what she says about that. Anyway. I don't, you know, they say that time cures all. There are some things that you can wash off with soap. Some things you have to paint over, but they ain't no cure for stupid. You just can't get stupid off. Every now and then, when I'm mowing, it ain't uncommon for somebody to stop and ask me if I've got time to cut a yard. And it ain't unlike me to go take on an extra yard during the day. I remember last time it happened, I was over at Dan's. And I was cutting his yard. And an old boy stopped and asked me if I had time during my day to check out another yard. And I did, and I cut that yard. Now, it just so happens that that guy's his mower was broke, and he was looking for somebody to cut it just one time. And I cut it for him, and he got his mower fixed, and that was the only time I ever cut it. But there's some people out there that just need stupid slapped out of their mouth. Yesterday, I was loading my mower, my rider, up onto the trailer. Sitting out in front of Dan's house again. And I'd already loaded all my push mowers up, loaded all my weed eaters up. And I was finished for the day, just got through blowing and everything. All done. I was loading everything up. Guy pulls up in a car. And he rolls his window down and looks out at me and he says, "Hey, you mow yards around here?" I just looked over at him and I went, I just kept loading things up. He had the nerve to look at me and say, "Huh?" I put the gate up on my trailer, walked around, got my Jeep, started it, and drove off. I never said a word to the guy. Dan called me and he said, "What'd that guy want?" I said, "He wanted to know if I cut yards around here." He just, He said, "I noticed you never said a word to him." He said, "I was wondering what he asked you." I told him, I said, man, if he asked me if I would like to look at a yard to cut, I'd have said, sure, show me where it's at. I'd have told him, you know. But he asked me, he said, hey, do you cut yards around here? And there I am loading lawnmowers and weed eaters and all kinds of stuff onto a trailer. You can just chase something into the woods so far till you're chasing something out of the woods. Anyway, I got something I want to show y'all. See it right there? That's a box of all kinds of stones and all kinds of findings. That may be something you didn't know about Ole'Pops. Ole'Pops makes jewelry. I wrap stones. Let me see. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I wraps arrowheads. I make jewelry out of a lot of stuff, but I never was real good at it. Anyway, here's what I got in mind. This is a little piece that I just sat here and made. I don't know if you can get a good look at it, but I just sat here and made that about 10 minutes ago. It's got 3 blue stones in the shape of a triangle and a little white stone in the middle of it. It's real simple. And it's got the bell on it's twisted, and it's got little curly cues up here at the top just for decoration. Now, I designed it myself. Of course, there ain't nothing special about it. But I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to give it away. And I want to give as many of them away as I can to as many people that wants them. I was looking at, and I put them on a little piece of black cord. If you know anybody that wants one, I'll be glad to make you one. Here's what I want to do. You know that TPI Pipe International set up a GoFundMe page for for Padre Piper. I looked on it just a few minutes ago, and it just ain't getting the hits that I'd like for it to get. I'd like to see it get a whole lot more. His parish, he and his parish need y'all's help. I needed your help about a year ago, and I got it. They got hit by that hurricane, and they need your help too. So here's what I'm willing to do. Anybody that makes a $25 or more donation, if you'll email me at Ole'Pops, Ole'Pops .wj@gmail.com, and let me know that you made a $25 or more donation to that GoFundMe page, and pay the shipping and handling for one of these. I'll send it to you free of charge, except for the shipping and handling. Just let me know that you did, and let me know that you want one. Just let me know. I'll send it to you free of charge. Just pay for the shipping and handling. It couldn't be. It can't be much more than $5 to send it to you. Anywhere in the United States, I'm willing to send it. Just pay the shipping and handling. That's all I want you to do. I'll be glad to make you one. This guy needs your help. I needed your help, and you came to my aid. You came to my rescue. He needs your help. What I had in mind when I made it. Now, I don't know his beliefs. I know he's a fine Christian man. What it represented to me was the 3 blue stones represented the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. The white stone in the middle represented the star of the Magi. The twisted veil represented the crown of thorns. And, of course, the rest of it was just bling. But I'll put it on that leather string for you, and I'll send it right to you. Email me. Anyway, I'm Ole'Pops. I'm out. I love you much.